everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures Etc. and it's Scrap Busting Saturday, and do I have a lot of scraps. This is just a small portion of the scraps I have, but I am determined to work through my scraps from now on as I'm crafting. So I'm here today to tell you how to do that for yourself too, to actually utilize the scraps that you're making while you're crafting and make them into something useful so that you don't have to slow your roll. So I'm going to set this aside because I've already pulled some out of here and I just started doing this, so it's not actually from a project that I'm currently working on, but a lot of the scraps that I have right now are ones that I just finished working on a project. So we were at the thrift store the other day and we found this roll, actually this box of 3 rolls of old calculator paper. Now, none of us use adding machines or paper calculators or anything like that anymore. So you can find these at garage sales and thrift stores dirt cheap. So if you find them, pick them up. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So the reason this is a good idea to work on these while you're crafting is, for one, they won't pile up as fast, which I don't know about you, but I have a lot of scraps and I would be so happy if I didn't have to have them constantly piling up every time I work on a project. The second advantage is that the scraps might already be coordinated by a color or a theme or something like that, so it'll be nice and cohesive. Okay, so we have our calculator paper, and like I said, you can get these dirt cheap, and just cut off a section of whatever length you want to work with. I'm going to work with 12 inches. So I'm going to cut mine off at 12 inches. I guess I should put it up here where you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to cut it off at 12 inches, roughly. It doesn't have to be exact. We're not making a science project. I'm just going to set this aside. Now the trick to doing this is you want to keep this strip handy. You don't have to be, you don't have to be doing it all the time, but you just want to kind of keep it handy. Maybe kind of off to the side of your project or on a side table or even tucking it under your craft mat. But you want to keep it handy so that you've got it to work with when you need to. So then as you're working on your project, get some kind of small container. Like this is a takeout container, but you can use like a Kleenex box or, a Tupperware container or a basket or anything that you've got that's small that you can kind of throw those small scraps in. So you can do this and pull them out either actually while you're doing your project and just pull this out and just start layering the scraps on, or you can do it at the end of a scrap session or crafting session. So this is the easiest thing in the world. So all you really need to do is just start layering things on. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows how to do that. But the nice thing is that when you're done, you've got a nice coherent piece of ephemera that you can do other things with. So you don't even have to think about it too much. I mean, you already know what papers you're working with, so you don't even have to worry too much or think too much about, oh, well, is this going to go with that or whatever. You're already making a journal or a card or something like that. So just go ahead and just start layering. And like I said, these papers that I'm using right now are from previous projects because this is something that I just thought about doing. I haven't seen anybody else do this before. Probably they have. I'm just not aware of it. So if I am doing something that somebody has already done, it's not that I don't want to give them credit, because I always like to give credit. It's just that I haven't personally seen it. So anyway, here we go. And this is just some parchment paper that I keep working on. So I'm just going to put this on my mat right here so it doesn't get all covered in glue. And you don't have to worry about putting things on, so that everything's all oriented the same way. I'm just going to make sure you can see. I'm going to pull you up just a little bit. Okay. and you just keep going. Now, I use this one to make some circles. Now, you can keep, when you're punching out circles, if you want, you can keep them and, you know, the negatives, and then use them as stencils too. So how's everybody doing today? We've had some pretty nice weather. We just went, one of the neighborhoods that we used to live in has their annual garage sale. It's actually semi-annual. And that's when everybody in the neighborhood is allowed to put out their stuff on for a garage sale. They're allowed to have 2 per year. And one is in May and the other one is in September. So it's always kind of a fun little thing. You know, we usually try to go. I'm going to just cover that little space up right there. Not that it's necessary, but I'm just going to do it because I have this little scrap. So I did find a couple of things, nothing major. I mean, the thing is that we didn't even really need to go because there is seriously not a thing that I need in my craft room right now. I am already busting at the seams. But we used to live there, and so, you know, we do once in a while run into people that we used to know, so that's kind of fun. But we moved because it's right on a golf course, and we didn't really enjoy living on a golf course because, I mean, we thought it would be fine because the house that we bought there had this huge net in the backyard, and we thought, oh, great, you know, we're going to be totally protected against golf balls. Well, no. We actually got hit quite a bit. You know, the golfers, it's not required that they be good golfers when they're golfing on that course. You know, so we got hit a lot, and nobody ever fessed up to it ever. You know, so we had windows broken a couple of times, and somebody said, well, you know, when you buy a house on a golf course, you should just expect to get hit. And my answer to that was, well, you know what, if you buy a house on a street, you should expect people to drive into your yard. So, no. We expect people to do the responsible thing and notify you that they've just hit your house or broken your window, but they didn't do that. I mean, they're not nearly as nice as if they damage your car in a parking lot and leave you a note. So, that and the fact that we had people walking into our backyard, right up to our back door. You know, there was like no privacy. We were right on one of the greens, and so there was no privacy. It's just, we couldn't let the grandkids go out and play in the backyard. I almost got hit in the front yard. So I was going out to the mailbox, and I heard this sound of like a ping, you know, just like ping. And I looked up. I stopped what I was doing. I was actually walking back from the mailbox, which was across the street from our house. So I heard this ping, and then I looked up, and I saw this golf ball go right across my eyes, right in front of my face. I could see the divots on the golf ball. It almost hit me right in the side of the head. That is across the street. The golf course was behind, you know, in the backyard. This was in the front yard, across the street. So that was when we really started to think about moving, because not only could we not have our grandkids play in the backyard, but, you know, it just wasn't safe. So like I said, we had windows broken 2 times, and then the people that were constantly coming in the backyard, right up to our back door, we put no trespassing signs up, and people would still, we had them on ropes attached to chairs that went across the back end of our house, you know, right before the path to the golf course. And people would step over the rope that had the no trespassing signs hanging on them and walk right up to our house, right up to our back door to get a golf ball. You know, they're not supposed to enter. And they didn't even have to be their golf ball. It could be a golf ball that was put there, maybe, you know, somebody... it might have been there for a week. I mean, there were we'd pick them up, you know, and put them on our table, because people would just leave them there or whatever, put them on our patio table. So they come and pick up, they weren't even their golf ball. They were just harvesting. So, so we got kind of tired of that. We couldn't keep them out by using no trespassing signs or, you know, something like that. So we got an automatic sprinkler. And so we got this automatic sprinkler. It's called the Yard Enforcer, and the idea of it is that it's supposed to keep animals like away from your garden or something. Well, we put it in the back, and so we decided, well, you know what, if they're going to come and they're going to trespass on our yard, and they're not going to take, you know, the no trespass, they're not going to respect the no trespassing sign, well, then we're going to have fun with them. So, so that's what we did. We put up the Yard Enforcer, and then when we'd hear a golf ball land in our yard, we'd kind of go hide we'd go upstairs and watch them. And this one adult man gets his kid. He's golfing with his kid. His kid is about 10 years old. And he tells him, go in that yard, you know, across the no trespassing signs. Go get that golf ball. So the kid does it. And then he hears this noise, you know, like a sprinkler makes. And he looks up and he got it right in his face. Poor kid. I felt bad for him because his dad was telling him to do it, which was really rude. You know, not very good parenting plan there. But anyway, there were other people, other guys that went, mostly guys. Women didn't do it. It was so funny. It was just the men that would do it. We never had a woman enter our backyard to get a golf ball, ever. It was always the men, and they were usually somewhat inebriated. So there was this one time, this guy, he got it right in the face too, and it was hilarious to watch him because, you know, their friends are in the golf cart and they're just cracking up and laughing at him, right, because they got hit with the golf ball. I mean, not with the golf ball, with the sprinkler. So that was our answer. It's like, fine, if you're not going to stay out of our yard and you're not going to fess up when you break our windows, then fine, you're gonna get sprayed with water. It doesn't hurt them. It just, you know, embarrasses them. So I didn't have a problem with that. Anyway, so if you live on a golf course and you have issues with people coming in your yard, get a Yard Enforcer. More fun than TV, actually. So anyway, I hope that doesn't offend anybody. But it was kind of fun for us, because we figured, you know, oh well. Okay, so I think you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just layering this stuff on, and if this had all come out of one project, and a lot of this came from the project that I just finished, but not all of it. Some of it's just been accumulating. But if it all comes out of one project, then it's all going to kind of go together. And there's lots you can do with these. When it's all put together and done, which I will show you on Make Ahead Monday, which is this coming Monday, how these can be used. I'm sure you're probably already getting some ideas of your own. But see how fast this goes? I mean, this is just so simple. And if you just do it as you go, or just at the end of a crafting session, I mean, think of the sense of accomplishment. I mean, I rather love the idea of just being able to use what I've got right in front of me. Now let's trim that off a little bit. These are just the ripple scissors. And basically the only glue that I'm using the Scotch Create glue on the thinner pieces of paper, like the book pages, and the art glitter glue for the, like this is more of a cardstock type thing. And the cardstock works better with the art glitter glue, which will, if you use it on thin book page or something like that, it has a tendency to warp the paper because it's a wet white glue. But the this paper is a little bit, it's thicker, so it's not going to warp. The only reason I'm using those scissors is because I like the way they cut the edges without showing all the white underneath. And you can just ink them up if you want to. So if you can fill up one of these strips or more every time you're crafting, you're putting these scraps to work. I like to call it making them get a job, because you're not really letting them accumulate. Okay, so scraps like this and this, I could save them and maybe make a butterfly or something out of them, which I think I'll do. But then these other little teeny ones, I'm just going to throw them away. I know, but I'm doing it. Okay, so now we've got this, and I'm just going to trim. And these little bits, I'm just going to throw away in my scrap bin. So I have this one, and then earlier today I did this one. So now I've got two 12-inch strips of scraps. Just these nice scrap strips. And I'm just going to keep them together. And if you wanted to put them like in a sheet protector or something like that, you might want to cut them down a little bit shorter. But I have a plan for these, so I'm going to leave them at this length. So I'm going to set those aside, and then I'm going to take my little butterfly punch. Okay, so that's all for that piece. Get out my little pantry of ingredients, as I like to call it. Put my little butterflies in there. And I've already used up a bunch of butterflies. Okay, so I have these two strips. Now, if you want to see what I do with these, come back on Monday for Make Ahead Monday to see ways these can be used. And also, check out my other Scrap Busting Saturday videos by tapping on the end screen or on the playlist at the end of this video. And as always, I would love it if you could give me a like, if you would consider subscribing, and if you've already subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And leave me a note in the comments as to what you think of this video, or if you're going to try it, and if you have tried it, have you had success with it? And I'd love for you to show me on Instagram. You can tag me on Instagram. The link to my Instagram page is in the description. And I'd love to see what you come up with. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. Like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in my next video. Have a great day, everybody, and let the serendipity find you. Bye.